Hey everybody, it's Nedra and it is nap time at my house. Many of you who are watching this already know who I am, but in case you don't know me and you're watching me for the first time, I'll introduce myself a little bit. Like I said, my name is Nedra Knavel. I'm an executive director with Beauty Control, and this video is first going out on our Nedra's nationwide team group. So most likely, if you're watching this, you are a consultant on our team, or maybe a friend of our team, another consultant or another director, and I am coming to you from my home in Columbus, North Carolina. This is nap time at my house, and so we were a little bit later than I wanted to be because the youngest, Thatcher, was fussing, trying to get through that little light sleep cycle that babies go through. He was 5 months old as of yesterday, but I'm excited to be here. I got to put some makeup on. Thank you, Lauren Fast, for giving me that quick mom look. It's what I have on today. I've probably worn it 5 times since you did your What to Wear Wednesday live feed last week, and I love it. So thank you so much. So today is Money Monday, and I hope that we can keep doing this for the Mondays to come during this nap time range. It'll be somewhere around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, depending on where the boys are at with their day. And if you start to hear baby fussing, I won't stop right away because he might just sleep through it. But if it goes on too long, then I will stop too. But hopefully he's in a good sleep now. So Money Monday, what I want this to be about is to share with you what has worked with me for 14 years with Beauty Control and making money consistently with this business. The reason that I'm here during nap time and not out working a job, not having to take my boys to daycare, which I grew up in daycare, so I know that it's a viable option, but I don't have to do that because I consistently make money with Beauty Control. And a big part of that is my team, and I'm very, very thankful for that. But another part of it is that I consistently put myself in front of new people to share Beauty Control. And lately, what I've loved in the last couple of years is that a lot of people have been talking about how there's lots of different ways you can share Beauty Control. There's expos, there's vendor booths, there's the catalog. This is this month's catalog. There's one-to-ones, there's facials, and I've done all those different ways. But I have to tell you that my favorite way to make money with Beauty Control is with group spas. And I mean, it's so much my favorite, and it's so effective in so many different ways that even my husband knows. So if I do a one-to-one or I do a booth or whatever, he'll say, "Did you get group spas booked? You know, are you putting yourself in front of enough groups?" And the reason why I love the group spa and why the group spa is going to kick off our Money Mondays is because when you can go out for 90 minutes, 2 hours, maybe 3 hours total from leaving your house to doing the spa to coming back. When you can go out and do that and put yourself in front of 4, 6, 8, even 10 to 12 people at one time, and do that once a week, maybe twice a week, even 3 times a week if you're looking to earn a trip for 2. If you can do that, it's such an effective use of your time. Excuse me, I apologize. I have fruit flies in my house. I was waving one out of my face. But anyway, and now I've always loved group spas, but now that my time is so limited because I have 2 young boys that are under the age of 2, I like to count on knowing that Tuesdays and Thursdays, I am going to devote 2 to 3 hours of that evening while my husband's home with the boys to working my business. And in those 2 time slots, I can see as many people as possible. So the other thing I love about group spas is that it helps me focus. I don't have to think about how many people can I share Beauty Control with today, on Monday, and on Tuesday, and on Wednesday, and on Thursday. Yeah, it is wonderful if you can share Beauty Control with people every day. But for me, I love to condense it and to say on these 2 times a week, I'm going to share Beauty Control with as many people as possible. And it just keeps it really simple for me. So it's efficient with your time because you're getting in front of a lot of people. It puts you in the driver's seat because you're picking when your store is open. And Yeah, you get to see the most people at one time. I hear a little baby fussing, but we're going to keep going. And please, I know I haven't really said much to ask questions about yet, but if you have a question, please be sure to ask the question in the comments. So the other thing that I love about group spas is that it's not only a girls' night out for the girls that I'm spaing, it's also a girls' night out for me. And I know those of you who are very busy during the day, you know what I'm talking about. When my husband walks in the door, he's usually home by about 5 o'clock on a spa night, and my spa is usually at 6 or 6:30. Like I'm not making it up. I have to say to him, you have to take over. I have to go to the bedroom and get dressed. And that doesn't sound very exciting, but that 15 minutes that I have in the bedroom, those 2 evenings a week, that is like me time now. It used to be just I had to get dressed and put my makeup on, but now it's my time. It's to put on something that I feel good in, to put on whatever cool look that Lauren Fast is giving us on Spa Girl Fast or whatever we've learned on BDTV. And it's a treat for me so that when I walk out of that bedroom door after those 15 minutes and I know I'm going to get in my car and leave the chaos of the boys for just a little bit, it's a treat for me. So, and you know this, but again, it's why I love group spas. So in the comments, I think it would be really fun if you posted, share with us, why do you love spas? Why do you love the spa escape? You know, we see that word in beauty control a lot. There are those 2 words, the spa escape. Why do you love it? Just share with us why you love a spa. I will say this too, that, you know, we hear from those of you who've been with beauty control for a while, we've been hearing that it's not easy to book group spas anymore. If you've been in beauty control for more than a couple years, you might have been hearing that. People can't book group spas anymore. I'm here to tell you that you can. And there's been times when our company's had a record high in scheduling group spas. And I know that in those times when the company's had a record high in group spas and I've had a record high, it's because I've been completely head over heels in love with the group spa escape. I mean, are you thinking about, thank you, Lori. Yes, making other women feel pretty and happy. So you make yourself feel pretty and happy to do the spa, and then you get to make other women feel that way too. If you want to make money in beauty control, I highly recommend that you regularly ask yourself, what do I love about doing spas? If I don't love seeing groups, how can I love it? What can I do to make it fun for me? And on Money Mondays, we'll keep talking about that. But when you are head over heels in love with doing groups of women with spa escapes, then you book them and it just happens. So I'm going to share with you now, how do you book them? And as I shared on the Bookathon, you'll know that I've been pregnant. We already know I've been pregnant with 2 babies in the last 2.5 years. And then the second pregnancy was really hard. And by that, I mean that in the 3rd trimester, I was in the hospital pretty much every week. And sometimes I stayed for a few days. Sometimes I got to go home right away. And they were just monitoring me. And obviously I'm perfectly healthy now. My baby is perfectly healthy, but it was just high risk. And so my schedule was constantly changing. I thought I could do a spa and then I couldn't do a spa because I had to be at the hospital. And then you have the newborn, and then you have a newborn and a toddler. So oftentimes I find that I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to spa that week. And so I have to get spas back on my calendar fast. So that's where I've been in the last 2 years, is I'll have a full calendar, and then for family and health reasons, I'll have to let it empty out, and then I'll have to fill it back up again really fast. And I love it, and I've figured out a way to do it. And so some of this I was able to share in the Bookathon, but it was only a 9-minute video, and it was really early in the morning when I recorded that. So I wanted to just expand more. So my favorite thing to do right now, because I can do it early in the morning, I don't have to go out and see people, I don't have to get on the phone, is I get on Facebook and I go to the search button and I type in, I live in Polk County, so I'll type in Polk County yard sale, Columbus, North Carolina yard sale, and I'll start doing that for other little areas that I'm close to. And So then I'll start to see these community groups where people regularly post things to sell, where it's accepted to sell. Some groups don't want you to sell, but you'll see in the postings that in this group, people are selling things. And on there, I will post that I am offering free Oxygen instant facelift facials in exchange for their before and after picture for my portfolio. And then I say, I do 2 to 4 people at a time, or 2 to 4 faces per time slot. And these are the 2 nights that I have open. And oftentimes I'll post this on a Monday, because by Monday I know what openings I have. And I'll list tomorrow, Tuesday, July 19th, Thursday, July 21st at 6 p.m. And I say 2 to 4 faces per slot, per time slot, and then I'll say bring a friend. I'm going to post this verbiage on this group so you can just copy and paste it. I got this verbiage from Pam Driesinga. Thank you, Pam. And she may have gotten it from someone else. And I also post 2 pictures that work really well with it. So I will post it on this group so that you have it. So I do this regularly, and I will also, once I've done this a few times in one little area, then I'll search for groups in other areas. And I do recommend that you think about, like, is there another director in that area? And not that you have to ask permission, but just, use your judgment on that, on whether, you want to look for areas where there isn't someone already offering a lot of beauty control. So I offer the free Oxygen facials. People start to message me back right away. I love it because sometimes I'll post this at 5:30 in the morning, which is when I get up. And then I'll come upstairs, I'll make breakfast for my family. My husband will be walking out the door. And oftentimes as he's walking out the door at 7:30 a.m., I'll say, hey, I just got 2 new people scheduled. And so on Tuesdays and Thursdays, if I don't have a group spa, I will fill those nights up with these people that are messaging me. And what'll happen on your post is people will say, that looks great, I'm interested, what do I do? And I'll reply to her comment and say, great, I have openings still on Thursday. Would you like to take one of those spots at 6 p.m. on Thursday? When she says yes, then I comment one more time and tell her I'm going to send her a private message with my location details. And so I just try to keep everything really professional, even though I'm working out of my home office or offering to come to her. In the private message, I'll say, hey, Susie, you are down for Thursday at 6 o'clock. If she's coming to me, I'll say, my home office is located at, and then my address. And then I have a quick little 3-sentence paragraph that just gives them some directions on how to get here, just some landmarks and things like that. And so that's what I do. And I overbook these times. So my home office is not a huge room, and I can fit probably about 4 to 5 people at the most. It's not, if you don't have a space yet in your home, I tell you, it's not perfect. It's clean, it's homey, it's girly, but it's definitely not, it definitely doesn't look like a salon. And I light a candle and I play spa music and people love it. And it's a room that I can close the door to. If you don't have a room like that, then on your posting, you want to say, I come to you. So in mine, I say, I come to you, or you can come to my home office. If you don't have that, then you just say, I come to you. The house that we rented before we bought this one, I did not have a space good. I didn't have a space good for people to come to. And I was kind of down a long, twisty road, and I didn't want to ask people to come and try to find me. So I did something similar to this, and I went to everybody. So it's completely possible to do that. But as far as booking group spas, let's get back to that. If you have nothing on your calendar, the quickest way you can start filling it up with something is by offering these Oxygen facials, instant facelifts. You can say microderm facials if you don't have the ozone tool. So please hear that. If you do not have the ozone tool, you can do the microderm facials as well. And people are extremely interested in that. And so I start filling up those Tuesdays and those Thursdays with these people, and I overbook them, like I said. So my office can fit 4 to 4 people, maybe 5 people. I will book 6 to 7 people because these are strangers and they don't know you. They're coming to your home. There are going to be a couple people that don't show, and I would rather book 6 and have 2 show up than not. And if 6 show up by any chance, then I'll figure out a way to get them to get them in. And then at the facial, I've created my own group spa. And so I have the people like on my little love seat and in a couple of office chairs. I give someone the neck wrap and let them pass that around. And then I start planting the booking seeds once they're there at one of those times that I've invited them to. And I say to them, this is a spa gel neck wrap. It's offered by the company that makes the products we're going to use tonight. And it is a gift if you would like to take advantage of my other more popular service, which is the full relaxation spa. So it's all in how you word it. I don't say I do beauty control parties. I don't say when you have a party for me. I say this neck wrap is a complimentary gift from the company that makes the products I use when you take advantage of my more popular service, which is the full relaxation spa, where you can include a handful of your friends and family. Doesn't that sound better? Then please, if any of you have been to Gary Galindo's director meetings, I love that slide that says, are you begging or are you offering? So when you're trying to fill your dates, think about that. Are you begging or are you offering? And this angle of first offering a facial and then starting to romance the full spa is all about offering. It's all about look what you can take advantage of. And that is huge when you're trying to fill your calendar and consistently share beauty control and consistently make money with beauty control. I meant to show you this earlier, but Thatcher was crying a little bit in my head. I forgot. So I can blame everything on the boys, right? So this is, let's see, there we go. This is an example of a calendar that I'll use really fast. And it's just something I printed from my Mac. And this is the month of July. And what I do to set my business hours is I circle or I highlight the dates that I have open. So after the 4th of July, I had my husband in June, my husband and I were toying back and forth with, should I do spas on weeknights or should I do spa marathons on Saturdays? And so my calendar ended up emptying out because we kept changing our minds in the month of June, because bedtime, ladies, for a man with 2 babies, ain't easy. So anyway, we did decide, Rob loves his Saturdays. So we did decide to go back to Tuesdays and Thursday nights. And so by the end of June, I did not have any Tuesdays or Thursdays filled for July. So I printed this out. I circled my Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then on Monday, July 11th, I posted on Facebook for the Oxygen facials, and by the end of the day of the 11th, I had 2 people scheduled for the 12th, and I had 6 people scheduled for the 14th. And now I have a group spa for this Thursday and a group spa for next Tuesday. And these are from women that I met last week. And I also have sales too. And this all happened because on Monday morning, I got up a little bit earlier than my family and posted for these Oxygen facials on Facebook. And that's what works for me right now. The key, though, in making the money, like I said, is get in front of people consistently. And I show you my calendar because I think a lot of us in beauty control do not plan ahead when we're going to work. We tell people, oh, have one of our spas. They're wonderful. When is a good time that works for you? What I love about this business is you get to pick when it works for you. So is there anyone on here that's watching that does not already do this? If you don't already do this and you're going, and this was like a light bulb thing for you, then please post a comment below. If you are already setting your open dates ahead of time, wonderful. You're awesome. Took me a while to learn that one. So the whole reason, I probably said this before, but if I didn't, I wanted to make sure that I made the point. The whole reason that I invite multiple women who don't know each other to either come to my office, or you can use a community room. In the house that I lived in before where they couldn't come to me, I did use a community room and invited multiple people there, is I'm creating my own group spa when I don't already have one, because we know the best place to get group spas booked is at another group spa where they're experiencing the products. The only difference about the Oxygen facial one is that, what was I going to say? Oh my gosh, it just went. is that I'm not doing the feet and the iPads or the warming mask. I'm just focusing on the instant facelift and doing it on 4 to 6 people at one time. So at the end of the oxygen facial evening, this is the key to booking the group spas. So after I've done these instant facelift facials from these people that I met through Facebook, I look at them and I say, this is completely complimentary, like it said on the Facebook ad. There are specials that are just good for tonight on what we used. Would you like to see those? And I'm nodding my head as I say that. So I'm looking at the group. It's a little teacher trick that I learned years ago. Nod your head at the group and they will nod back with you. It's amazing. So I've done the facials. I look at them and again, I say, there are specials that are just good for tonight. On what we used, would you like to see them? And everyone says yes. And that's where I pull out my closed sheet, which I posted on the director page and on the consultant page, and I will repost on this group too. And at the oxygen facials or the microderm facials, I do not show them the catalog. I just walk through what we used. For some reason, that's what I do, and it works well. It helps them just focus on what we used. And I walk them through the BC facial. I give them a special price for that night only. Usually it's like $149 instead of $159. I do the microderm appeal. I give them a special for that, the tight firm and fill for the face and the eyes, and then the oxygen tool. And so you can decide what you want to, what kind of discounts you want to offer. The key is whatever you offer, to, of course, not give all your profit away. You are making money at this, but also to say these are only good for tonight, because people will be prone to say, can I take your card? And some people still do that, especially at these, because they've never met you before. They didn't know what to expect when they walked in the door, but I like to decrease that as much as possible. So using that technique with the close sheet, I have had in the last 8 weeks, I've had 3 to 4 women spend $300 to $500 alone at one time, just using that close sheet. I've had, what else have I had? I've had groups that purchase with anywhere from $250 to $500 at one time. And again, these are people that I just met through Facebook, and I just make sure to use that close sheet at the end of the facials. And after they've decided what they want to purchase, at the very end, this is what I say about the gift certificate. I say, oh, I have these gift certificates that you might be interested in. They're only good for certain nights that I have open, but each gift certificate is worth, you could pick whatever, $50 in free beauty control products, $75 in free beauty control products. Sometimes if I really want a date, I will go up to $100, knowing that my cost is going to be $50, and that's going to be my only cost for that spa and the neck wrap. But I rarely do that, only if I really, really want to get it filled. But it's not so much the point of the amount, it's the point of a nice gift certificate printed on cardstock. And each gift certificate has a date listed at the bottom that I have open. And so it's valid for that date. And some days I'll write on the gift certificate, it's a hot date, which means they get 2 neck wraps instead of 1. You can do all kinds of things with it, but I think the point is offering gift certificates for full relaxation group spas that are valid on certain dates that you have open. For me, it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so I pass those gift certificates around, and I stress that these are the only gift certificates I have for these dates. And I'll say to them, I have 2 of them left. I have 3 of them left. Would you like to take a look at them? And people almost always want to write the dates down and get back with me. And I say to them, oh, you can do that? But these dates go really fast when I'm offering gift certificates like this. If you want to text your friends, if you want to think about what date works best for you and then invite people after that, I really recommend that you pick the date you want before someone else takes the gift certificate. So thank you, Vicki Bishop. That's right. You want people to book on the spot. When we're having a regular group spa, we can use hostess incentives, and we can use Laura McLean's name or gift game to encourage people to book 2 spas to help the hostess. But when you're the hostess, this is the way and the words that I use to get those group spas booked on the spot. Thanks, Vicki. So the last little bit that I want to share with you today, and again, please feel free to ask questions if there's something you didn't quite catch, is when you want to make money with beauty control, when you're sharing it consistently, filling your calendar, and you're having those group spas, it requires something. And if I had a clean pair of big girl panties, I would show them to you. But I do have clean pairs, but they're not very pretty. You wouldn't want to see them. But you know what I'm talking about. When you have group spas, the one thing it requires is big girl panties. And there are certain reasons why. And I'm going to explain why and give you some tips on how to handle it. Because I know at times in my business that it has been easier for me to do a one-to-one. And it's easier. It's easier for me to just treat one person or 2 people and sell them some products. And I love to sell $300, $500 to one person or 2 people, and it takes less time. But if you want to build a powerhouse business, the group spas are absolutely it, because they're duplicatable. Other people can watch you do them, and then they can go put themselves in front of 6 to 8 people at one time, and they don't take a lot of time. So, before I was a mom, I didn't quite understand this, but now that I am, when I have one night that's 2 to 3 hours that I can go out and work, I want to see as many people as possible. The flip side is when you're working with groups, you do have to learn. Thank you, Shelly. You do have to learn some certain skills in working with groups. But I tell you, if you can learn the BGP skills, the big girl panty skills, you will feel like a rock star. And you will be a rock star. Trust me. And you can do it completely. So are you ready for the big girl panty skills? First one is, I'm looking at my notes now because these are serious. When someone schedules the group spa, the first thing you have to do is ask them not to cancel. Because all the effort you put into printing your gift certificates, to romancing the group spa, your full relaxation service, and they pick that date, when they cancel, it's all gone, right? And cancellations do happen. But when you look them in the eye, once they've picked that date, and you smile and you say, oh, I'm so excited to pamper you and your friends, pamper you again and meet your friends. And the one thing I ask is that you not cancel. And you just smile. I learned that from Senior Executive Director Bobby Hood, and who lives in Ohio. And it's true. You can say anything with a smile. And that's the first thing you have to say to a hostess is, please do not cancel. Shelly Callahan says it jacks up my calendar, or she used to say that. I'm not sure if she still says it, but people understand that. And that is the most important thing for them, is to not cancel. Second thing is that you want to coach your hostess to have a great spa. Oh my gosh, this fruit fly. Blah. You want to coach your hostess to have a great spa. So you've got the spa, the date's going to hold. The first step in hostess coaching is to ask her not to cancel very nicely. But then the second step is to show her what makes a great spa. And there's certain components that make a great spa. 3 little things that I've talked about before and that I always try to achieve with every spa. It doesn't always happen, but I coach my hostess for these 3 things to happen. Is 1, to have 8 guests who purchase. So that's the first piece of a great spa, 8 guests who purchase. 2 is to invite people who love skincare so that they are going to want to spend at least $75 or so, right? Get the Microderm or Tight Firm and Fill or skincare. I could go on and on. And then the third thing is to coach your hostess to have outside orders. So those 3 pieces really make a great 500 plus spa. That's 8 guests who purchase. Their average size orders at least $75 or more. And then the hostess collecting 3 outside orders. Do those things happen at every single spa that I do? No. But I have a hostess coaching system that coaches the hostess and shows them how to get as close to that or even better as we possibly can. After this broadcast, I'm going to post on this group as a file my hostess coaching checklist, which is something that I used when I first was learning how to hostess coach, where I would literally check off little points that I had made with my hostess and our contact back and forth before her spa. I'm going to post that, and then I'll post my spa night checklist, which is what I give the hostess when she schedules. And it's just a fun little checklist that she gets to mark off as she's doing things. She's earning little free gifts from me. Thank you, Pam. So the spa night checklist is for the hostess coaching checklist is for you, and the two work together and coincide together. And when I first was learning this, I used that hostess coaching checklist for myself in my business binder, and I filled one out for every hostess, and it kept me on track. I did it for so many years that I've memorized it, and now I actually just copy and paste the same verbiage into text messages between me and the hostess. I do, in our text messaging world, I will say that I do call the hostess at least twice before her spa. The first call is the day after she's scheduled to thank her and tell her how excited I am. The second call is the day of the spa, or you could do the day before the spa to remind her that she wants to get you her approximate head count. And those 2 personal calls plus text messaging the other verbiage on my hostess coaching checklist helps you keep that spa on the calendar and helps you have a great spa and make the most of that little bit of time that you're going out to work. Another big girl panty rule, and this one I really perfected from Laura McLean, and it is that you expect people to purchase. So your goal is to have 8 people to purchase. But when you walk into that spa, you've got to tell yourself, yes, I'm going to change people's lives tonight. I'm going to offer them the beauty control opportunity. And I also expect them to purchase. That's what we come to spas for, is to get great skincare. Now, if someone doesn't purchase and she says, I literally have got $5 in my bank account, I might try to sell her an Extreme Repair 1-ounce hand cream. No, I won't. But I do walk in thinking we're going to sell skincare here tonight, and we're going to change people's lives by recruiting people who also want to go out and spa with me. But you have to have that expectation. I can't tell you how many times that I have pulled up to a hostess's house, and maybe the house was not as nice as I had hoped it would be. Maybe the house was a little scary. Well, no, I don't go into scary houses, but it just, you pull up to a house and you think, oh, I wonder how it's going to be. I remember when I was first perfecting my hostess coaching and expecting people to purchase, which is that other big girl panty rule that we're talking about, that I pulled up to a spa. The house was, I wasn't really sure. And then people started pulling up and coming in, and they saw me getting my 2 bags out of the car, and they said they were looking forward to being pampered. And one of them said, oh, I can't get anything tonight. And then the other one said, yeah, I'm broke too. And I smiled. I used my Bobby Hood rule about smiling. And I said, oh gosh, well, we're going to find something you can treat yourself to, because that's what we do at the spa. We're going to find something you can treat yourself to, because that's what we do at the spa. And you know what? That spa was a $450 spa from people who all told me they were broke and they weren't going to get anything, and their checks cashed, cleared, and their credit cards cleared. So a lot of times people just use that as an excuse immediately. And you can work around it, expecting people to purchase at the spa. Another big girl rule that I learned was from Pam, who's watching right now, and that is to address people's skin issues. So you've done the spa, you've used your close sheet, you've done your booking game, you've offered incentives for buying that night, and then you're working with each person. At every spa, as I'm explaining my close sheet, I say to everyone that I am going to help each of you treat yourself to something tonight. I'm going to help each of you figure out what works for you. And some people will say, well, do I have to get a set? And I say, no, you don't have to get a set. Anything you purchase from Beauty Control tonight is going to help Susie earn free dollars to spend with me based on what you get tonight. And what I'm going to do after I explain the sets is I'm going to come around and help each of you individually decide what works best for you. What would you like to treat yourself to? And the way I do that is at the top of my close sheet, there's a spot for their skin issues that I've asked them to fill out earlier. And when I sit next to them, the first thing I ask is I say, what do you love? What did you love tonight? And then I'll look at their skin issues and I'll say, what were your skin issues? And on their close sheet, I'll start to circle things and say, oh, you said brown spots, microdermabrasion, awesome for that. You said lines and wrinkles, Tight Firm and Fill, fantastic for that. If they say, I'm oily, I'm dry, I'm, things that they just need a good daily skincare routine, then I'll suggest the BC Facial for that. So those are the things that the most people write down for their skin issues. And I think for a long time I was scared to recommend things to people, but you have a lot more knowledge than you realize. And I make sure every single person that I sit with at the spa that I look at their skin issues and I make recommendations. I can't tell you how many times sales have increased because someone decided to get something because I said, I think this will really help you. Pam came to a spa with me in Michigan years ago, probably 10 years ago, and she helped me close the spa. And I noticed that she was helping me with my guest, saying, oh, you said that you have acne. This set would be really great for you. And I had never done that before. And it takes some confidence to do that, but you can do it. We have 6 big girl panty rules. Number 5 is you have to set boundaries. So when you're having group spas, you have to be firmer with your boundaries. And I know that's hard, but I'm trying to think what is an example? Oh, bookings. That's an example. That's what I was thinking of this morning when I was writing out those notes. When you're at a group spa and you're working really hard for that hostess to get her 2 bookings, oftentimes people will say, oh, I can't do them on any of the nights that you've written down. And that's when I smile and say, well, first they'll say, can I book a spa 6 months from now and have that count towards the hostess tonight? I have a group that gets together twice a year, but it's not till December. Can we put that date on the calendar? That'll count for her. And so this is an example of setting boundaries. I will smile and say, I would love to do a spa with you in December. We can put that date on the calendar, but for tonight, for the hostess to earn her whatever it is that you're offering, she needs to have 2 dates picked from the dates I have open here. Nodding and smiling as you're saying that. And then I'll just go on and keep working with the next person, because usually people ask those questions as you're closing. And I am amazed how many times that people will come back. They've said that my dates didn't work. They come back and they pick a date that I originally had said. But that's because when they questioned, and it's okay to ask if there's other dates open, but if you want to be in control of your business and your calendar, then you have to have those boundaries in place. Otherwise, you'll be doing group spas on whenever other people want it, and you won't feel like you own your own business and that you're in control with it. So now I say I can't because my husband only comes home early on these 2 evenings, and I'm definitely not going to go out on Saturdays because that is our protected family time that we've agreed to. But setting your boundaries will help you enjoy your spa business a whole lot more, and those booking dates are one of them. If you have a team, another awesome thing about group spas is that you can you can keep your boundaries in place and protect your time. That when you have consultants saying, can we talk for a while? I've got questions about how to do a spa. I've got questions about the product line. But they won't show up to Beauty U, or they didn't come to the rally. If you have people like that on your team, but you've got group spas on your calendar, then you can protect your boundaries and say, I don't have time for a phone call, but I'm going to a spa. I'm going to go do a spa on Tuesday. Why don't you come with me and you can ride with me and I'll answer your questions then. So I know there's other people that have talked about this, but again, why I love the group spa is it is an excellent training opportunity, and it's a way for you to not be on the phone with people who aren't showing up to things but still have lots of questions. And then the last thing is a tribute to Gary Galindo, who some of you know I've worked with for a few years. And when you work with Gary, he talks about agreements that you make with yourself. And one of the agreements is that you are true to your word and you work your schedule. And that's the number 6 BGP rule that I think group spas help you learn really quickly, is that you're true to your word and you work your schedule. The beautiful thing is you pick your schedule. And for the last 2 years, 2.5 years, my schedule has changed a lot, but I always got to pick it and pick back up when I wanted to. And that's why sometimes if a Tuesday wasn't booked with anything yet, on Monday morning, I would get up a half an hour earlier and go get on Facebook and advertise those facials and fill that time. If I can't fill that time that I told myself I was going to work, then I call clients. So I have it on my, I use that one-page calendar, but this awesome, can you see that? This awesome planner that I think Anya Grissom and Melissa Nobles promoted. I finally got one, and that's what I use. And so I was looking at mine this morning. Whoop, hello. And this Tuesday is still open tomorrow. So I have already made an agreement with myself that if I don't have someone respond to a facial request, or maybe I do, or facial advertisement, or maybe I do and they don't show, but whatever the case, tomorrow evening I'll either be seeing people, putting beauty control on people, or I will be finishing up my client newsletter and making 10 client phone calls. So when you have group spas, the only way they'll be successful is if you do them when you say you're going to do them, meaning that you do everything in your power to book those nights that you say you're going to book. And if for some reason it cancels at the last minute, or you can't, or it doesn't get filled, then you still share beauty control in some way. And I love doing client follow-up on those nights, because that's usually the one thing that I end up not having the time for. So if you have any questions, please feel free to post them as comments, or anything that really spoke to you that you haven't done yet and are going to do. I'll stay on for a few more minutes. The boys are still sleeping. Yay. For all you moms that are watching this, it's definitely different now. I used to think I was so busy. I know some of my good friends are laughing on here, because I didn't have kids, and I thought I was so busy because I made myself busy. I went to the gym, I went to yoga, when I did all these things, which was wonderful, and it's awesome that we can do it. But now, man, nap time is beautiful and precious, and I'm so glad I got to do this today. So everyone, what I'm going to do is post my hostess coaching checklist, my spa night checklist, which is for the hostess. I'll post my most recent version of my close sheet and the gift certificate as well. Even though it's been posted on the bigger beauty control groups, I'll post it on this team group too. Thank you, everyone. Have a great Monday night.